What's up? What's up? Happy Tuesday. Tuesday with Thom coming at you. Whether you're getting to see me live or through your replay, whichever the case, I am excited that you decided to be here for a minute. And so I am excited to, there's so much for me to share with you today on this Tuesday. This is, we're halfway through February already, and we are nearly we're knocking on the door of March already. So happy mid February. I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. We did. We had a good Valentine's Day. We had our grandson. That was fun, and he came and stayed with us. So we had a good time, went to the movies, and just ate all the junk and did all the stuff. So it was good. It was good. So I pray your Tuesday's going well, and just excited to share some stuff with you that has been happening. Man, just so much is going on at one time that it just is something else. So anyway, so happy Tuesday. And I usually say something about the weather. The weather's good today, a little cloudy as you can see through the sunroof, but it's good. It's all good. So I am feeling blessed. And having a good day, and all the things. So I was dropped ya. What is happening today? Holy moly! Holy moly! My car will only stay on for a certain amount of time, and then it gets all anyway, so I had to hit the button so it wouldn't turn off, and I wouldn't be hot. So hey Amanda, what's going on? How you doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I've got so much to share with y'all today, and can't wait for just to get into it. So hope you're doing well, and everything you're feeling blessed. So man, earlier I was struggling. I was just feeling like I was just kind of blah, and I can't be blah. That's just not me. So anyway, I pushed through, and I'm very glad that I did. So sometimes we have to do that, right? We just have to keep pushing, and then take a deep breath, and things just get better. So that's kind of how today was. It was just one of those days. So but that's just real, right? That's just kind of how life can be sometimes. No reason, no real reason at all. But sorry about that. I was trying to let Melissa know that I was live. So anyway, so I was like I said, I was just kind of feeling blah, and so just kind of prayed and just kept pushing, kept it moving, and anyway, it was good. I finally ate, and of course that helped me to feel better. So anyway, gosh, so much has been happening since last week, it feels like. And so that's just kind of the season, I guess, that I'm continuing to be in, and I'm here for it. But I've shared with you guys before that my word for 2026 is expansion, and that's exactly what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. Is expansion. And so, but God is so God that he does things in ways that we don't think about. But anyway, I just feel expansion in so many areas of my life, and I'm feeling blessed about it. But listen, there's Melissa Diaz. So expansion, y'all, is stretching and pulling, and it's a lot. But one thing I do know is that when God gives you something to do, or God gives you an assignment, or whatever it is, he works it out. He goes before you, and he just works it out. And so that's kind of how God talks to me. Is if it's me, then I'll forget about it. I'll think about it once or whatever, and then it just kind of stops. But if it's God, then I know that because it just keeps going over and over. Like he just keeps saying the same things to me, and reminding me and nudging me and pushing me to do something or whatever the case might be. And so that there's been a lot of that. And so it's just literally blowing my mind. And just when I think that God can't blow my mind anymore, he certainly does. And so I'm very, very excited about what's happening and what's going on. And I got another big thing that's coming, and we're almost ready to announce it, but not quite, just so soon. But just to give y'all a little teaser, it's it's really big, that God's just opened that door. And so it's to do with the publishing stuff and my publishing company, Level Up Publishing, and which is part of Level Up with Thom. And so we're working on the website right now. Melissa's doing an amazing job. And hey, Chris Foster, welcome. And Myra, I don't think I said that right, so I'm so sorry I didn't say that right. But welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. But anyway, Melissa's working on my website. We spent a few hours last night on Zoom, and just tweaking the website and expanding. We're just expanding, and just this new stuff that's coming with the publishing company is it's requiring the website to be tweaked. And so I was telling Melissa last night just obviously how thankful I am that God placed us together, but just how many things have changed in a year. Because last year at this time, she wasn't, as far as I know, wasn't thinking much about doing, websites and all the things that she's doing. And I sure wasn't thinking about all the things I'm doing right now. But the website was, maybe on my radar, but not, I didn't even have a clue what all was happening and what was going to happen with it. And so what God's done in a year has just really been mind-blowing and exciting. So I and like I said, continuing to be stretched. My word is expansion, and that's what's happening. And so in all areas. And so but there's so much behind the scenes that go on with things like this. And we just get to see the ta-da, and there's so many hours that's spent working on things. I mean, hours and hours and hours that are spent praying and hearing from God and doing stuff. And hey, Angel Brown, what's up? I love you. I was praying for you just a while ago. But there's so much that goes into it, right? I mean, and sometimes it, it just looks easy, it looks great because we just see the end result. But there's a lot that really goes into it. And so that's the other thing. If it's not our call, allergies are crazy here today. I'm so sorry. But if it's not your call, then you're not going to want to do it. Because it's a lot. So, but with God pushing and being there with you, it makes it worth it. It makes it, gives you that strength to keep doing it and pushing through. And so, I was sharing with Angel actually the other day. We got a chance to talk and catch up, and that was such a beautiful conversation. And but there is warfare that goes along with our call sometimes, and there's seasons that we go through, and again, when God is doing big things, and y'all, big things can mean, it can mean anything to you. If it's big to you, then it's big, right? It doesn't mean that you're starting companies and you're doing whatever. But if you think it's big, then it's big. And so, anyway, there's sometimes spiritual warfare that goes along with our call and the things that God has for us to do. And so that's why we have to pray. We have to hear from God. We have to spend time and be in His presence, because if we don't, you just can't make it. At least I wouldn't be able to. So, but it when I was at the conference, Pastor Kim's conference, RTK conference in January over in Atlanta, I'm part of the mastermind, so I joined last year, and so we had a couple of days of just the masterminds together, and so some amazing things happened. I'll share with you in a bit, but big things were happening. I mean, we were sitting in rooms with bosses and just incredible stories and things that we were sharing. And the enemy immediately started attacking me during the masterminds. And I never get sick. I'm fairly healthy. And so I had started feeling, bad before I got there. But literally by Tuesday, I just felt terrible. And so I didn't sleep well because I was coughing, and then I was having to take medicine, which was making me feel blah, and there's so much that goes on when we're there that my energy was just blah, and so, but I started feeling attacked, and it was just like the spiritual attack that hit. And welcome, Donna. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So the spiritual attack, man, just started hit like hard, y'all. It was just like, man, it was ridiculous. And it was the entire weekend. The rest of that whole week, I just felt, just beat up, and the enemy just started roaring in my mind and all this stuff. And I kept trying to push. And so, and I may have shared part of this with y'all, but the reason that I keep bringing it up is because there are seasons and there's moments sometimes that the enemy, the Bible tells us the enemy comes in like a flood, but the Spirit of the Lord will raise up a standard against him. And we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers of this world. And we have to bring down strongholds, right? And so sometimes we do have to war in the Spirit. And maybe people don't really know what's going on around us. We smile, push through, worship, do all the things, but going through this spiritual warfare. And so that's why our circle is important, and we talk about that all the time. But and yes, I could have reached out to more people probably, but it was just a process, and I knew that, so I had to get through it. But felt it, man. It was just all week. It was just punch, punch, punch. And that's right, Angel. And so even when I came home, y'all, for 2-3 weeks after I was home, I just kept feeling this it just felt like warfare. I was exhausted and didn't want to do, much. And of course I came back and had to go, got to go right back to work the very next day, hit the ground running. And it was a busy week, and there was, I had lots of obligations and lots of things that was going on and lots of things to do. And so it was just right back into it. And so, but the enemy was so mad at what happened, and he wanted me to be defeated. He wanted me to feel defeated. He wants me to stop. He wants you to stop. He does not want you to keep doing what you're doing. And like I said, y'all, it doesn't matter if whatever you're doing for God, it's big stuff. It's big. And so, like I told you, what was happening last year in comparison to what's going on today is so mind-blowing that I'm glad I didn't give up with previous spiritual attacks and whatever. And so, but even recognizing that that's what it is, it doesn't make it feel good. It doesn't make it stop. It doesn't make it feel better. It doesn't, none of those things. You just have to keep going. And so, I just want to encourage you today that if you're going through something right now where the enemy's just lies and so loud and so oppressive and so, that can be spiritual warfare. And so we have to fight him with the word of God and what God said. Because see, when you're called, when you're anointed, when you have a call in your life and God's got stuff for you to do, the enemy doesn't want us to do it. And so he's going to fight us every step of the way. And so you have to know that otherwise it just makes it easier to quit. And so, it was just a lot. It was just a lot to process through. And so, I just, like I said, I just had to keep pushing and keep pushing. And, I knew I had people praying for me physically because, I just felt so terrible. But, that was kind of the double whammy where I physically felt bad and then I felt like I was under spiritual attack at the same time. And so it really just made it feel double bad. And so, yes, maybe I'm a big baby because, since I'm not ever sick, it just felt so much worse that it normally does. But, and then just when it lingers, because it was just something that just kept lingering on and on and on. And so, it was just a lot. So, but anyway, so keep going, keep pushing. God's got amazing big things for you to do. And, if it is, Pastor Kim says sometimes that we're not under spiritual attack, but choice attack. Well, if it's a choice attack, then get in prayer and talk to God and really get real with God and say, God, if this is me, then forgive me and help me to get through it and keep pushing. And that's right, Angel. Come on, talk about it. So, but if it's not, then God, give me strength. Give me strength. Just like in the natural, here in Oklahoma, we have crazy weather where we have tornadoes and we have hail and wind and it, it's just crazy sometimes, in the spring especially. But, the weather men and women are watching and sometimes we have to take shelter. It's coming right at you. And so sometimes you have to take shelter. And so taking shelter in the spiritual realm is getting in your prayer closet, getting in your place of prayer and praying and really seeking God and and gaining the strength like that, because that's the safety. We're under the safety of his covering. And so, that's a powerful place to be. So, man, if you feel like that, or you are feeling like that, then please let me encourage you on today that God's got you. And, grab your Bible, grab your scriptures, write stuff down, talk to God about it, and really just keep pushing, because what's on the other side is big. Y'all, I knew there was some big stuff coming. I knew it. I just didn't know what it was. And so now that I know, I'm like, okay, God, now I see. Hey, Susan, what's going on? Genevieve, welcome. So glad you guys are here. So, happy Tuesday, y'all. So, it's something I've learned now is, God, what are you trying to teach me through this, instead of why does this keep happening? What are you trying to teach me? What do I still need to learn? What's this about? What am I missing? Am I not, praying enough? Am I doing something that I'm supposed to be doing? Or is this just part of the process? And so, man, it's easy to say, oh, trust the process. Trust the process. That's so easy to say when you're not the one that's trusting the process. Or when you're not the one that's really standing there, going through it. And so, it's a big thing. But be encouraged, y'all. Be encouraged. That we don't go through stuff nothing is wasted. God doesn't waste anything. And so, anything that we go through, it's always for something. Always, I'm convinced, for sure. And so, it's, always a good something. So, so one of the exciting things that I want to share with you guys, I haven't really, talked too much about it, but, just because it was part of that, stuff I was, really going through and dealing with. But, and there's, and I'll explain once I tell you, but, some very exciting stuff that happened, when I was in Atlanta, in the masterminds. But, I was, ordained by our pastor. And so, I have, been able to be ordained. And so, the reason that, one of the reasons why that's such a big thing is because, this has been a desire of my heart for about 25 years or so. And so, when I was a lot younger, obviously 25 or more years ago, or more, but, I, was young, and we were in church and, doing all the things. And, church was all we did. And, I had been married before when I was young, 18. And so, and that didn't last for very long. I mean, I was just so young. And so just a few months, and got divorced. And so then, when I, got married to my kids' mom, we'd been married for several years by this point. And, I can't remember if my daughter was born yet or not, but, anyway, so it'd been a while. And so that organization that we were a part of, there was like a board, like a corporate type of board, right? They didn't know who we were from Adam. And so our, thank you, Angel. So our local pastor wasn't able to ordain us. The ones that, wanted. I grew up in that church, grew up with, several, of the young people. We did life together. And so, so it was, we were kind of all at that same point where, that was kind of the next step for all of us. And so, I was so excited, and several of us, we had to, I lived about 45 minutes from Oklahoma City at that time. And so we had to come to Oklahoma City. It was a big deal. And we had to go before this board, and, we had to fill out this application and do all the things, and, blah, blah, blah. And so, out of all the people that went that day, and there was probably 6 of us, maybe, something like that. Everybody got ordained except for me, because I had been married before, and they were strict policy on that. They didn't care if there wasn't infidelity, then canceled, denied. You just got divorced. They didn't care why. And so, I was the only one. And I remember just feeling so defeated and deflated, and I didn't feel like I was good enough, and, all those things. And everybody else got ordained, and it was such a big deal. And some of them actually, went and started a church, which wasn't necessarily anything I ever really wanted to do or cared about, really. But, still they were advancing on what God had for them to do. And so, but again, I felt rejected. And so that, the enemy used that, really a lot, And so, so even though, I was in my 20s, I still, I was close to God. I knew scripture then. And so I really had to really press into that, but I felt embarrassed. I felt, like I said, not good enough. And so all these years, that's always been a desire of my heart, was to be able to be ordained. And I just, I never was, and then walked away from God for, about 20 years. And, now I feel like that God has, this phone's getting hot, y'all, the way it's sitting. So, but I was getting a testimony. I didn't realize that, that's what was happening, was, being away from God for so long, I actually was getting a testimony. And so, but, through, like I said, the course of a lot of things, got divorced again, and, all sorts of stuff. And so, but, getting a testimony was, man, it was Free Life College. It was rough, it was all sorts of stuff. But I felt rejected. I felt so rejected that day, because, these, this board of people who didn't know who I was, like I said, made a decision that they didn't even know who I was. They didn't know my heart. They didn't know, they didn't know the call that God had on my life, or they couldn't see those things that seemed like it should matter, but it didn't. And so, anyway, so all these years later, being able to be ordained was such an amazing situation, such an amazing blessing that God, allowed that to be something that I was able to do. And like I said, He knows the desires of our heart, and so we have to keep our heart right. We have to, even if we don't understand stuff. And so, but just to be part of a ministry, part of a family, part of a circle that, thank you, Susan, that can see us individually and see our hearts and see, and hear from God so well that we're able to, step into whatever God has for us. And, it was just, like I said, one of those moments where, when you have something on your heart for, like I said, 20 years, it was a big deal. That moment I'll remember forever. And so, and especially, with the pastor that, I love and respect, and she loves and respects me, and she knows my heart and what God has, for me to do is, this was important. This was the thing. It's not about starting a church or none of those things, but it's about just that moment of saying, God sees that. God sees us. He sees our heart. He knows our journey. And so, but the enemy immediately stepped in and just started punching, and, just started making me feel already, feel again like I didn't deserve that, and I was less than, and who do I think I am, and, people are going to think that's crazy, and all the things. Well, yeah, maybe so, but when God has his hand on your life, and God is doing stuff, then he doesn't care what men think, really. And so I keep moving my phone, y'all, because it's getting hot. I don't know what's happening, but I don't want it to go off. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. But I had to go through this process, and I had to get through this spiritual warfare, what it felt like, to be able to talk about it, because again, God saw my heart. This was something that I really had prayed about, and so God answered, and I was able to to receive that blessing. And so but the enemy, like I said, the enemy gets us in our head, and he really did. He really did. And so but I'm so excited. I feel really blessed to just, when you work for something, and you really pray, and you try to do the things God says, when those moments get to happen, it was very, very, very amazing. There were 4 of us that were ordained together, and we just prayed together and prayed for each other, and just that, such a special moment, that our callings are so unique, our ministries are so unique, and so there's so much that God has for each of us to do. And so that's why God's brought so many amazing people in my life. We're not in competition with each other. We're the only one I'm in competition with is me, and I just gotta do better than I did yesterday. And so there's no competition. We help each other. We love on each other. And so that T-shirt that I made forever ago says, "Watch my fruit," and that's always been my heart. People aren't going to agree with our lives. People aren't going to agree with lots of things that goes on, but watch my fruit. That's all. And talk to God about it. That's the other thing, right? That's not my T-shirt, but so watch my fruit. You will see people's fruit, and that's how we know, right? You will know them by their fruit, is what the Bible says. And so I'm so sorry, y'all, today. This is just crazy. I'm gonna leave it alone. But so I just want to share that news with you guys. Finally, I've that happened in several weeks ago, but I'm just excited, and I feel really blessed to have received that blessing, and so God's just already working and doing, and like I said, just expanding so many amazing things in my life. And so I hope that you can feel encouraged that that even though that was something that
you have not subscribed to this one,
that was 20 years in the making, y'all. 20 plus years, that, like I said, God knew my heart. He saw my heart and the desires of my heart. And so but just to have that moment, just to be standing inside that moment was incredible. And so now stay tuned. I don't know what all God's gonna do with me and with me and for me and to me, but I'm really excited about, you know, what's happening, and like I said, the business is going well. So Level Up Publishing Company is the publishing company I started a few months ago, and already expanding, and God is just blowing my mind after one thing after the other. And like I said, Melissa and I have been working on the website, and so if you've never been to my website, please go, just check it out. Well, wait a couple of days, because it's going to be better, but it's levelupwiththom.com is my website. And like I said, we're adding to it something really amazing, and God is literally already working. As soon as I said yes and started kind of getting some things together about it, it's already, things are already moving, and so I feel just blessed that this truly was God, and this truly was the right time, because things are happening. And so be encouraged, y'all. Even though we go through hard things, and we go through hard seasons and hard moments and whatever, we have to be faithful, right? We have to keep pushing. We have to remind ourselves that this isn't going to last forever. But it's hard. It's so hard when you're the one going through it. And so, hey Sheila, what's up? So, I am just in awe, you know, of all the things that's happening, and like I said, God is just in the details. He's working stuff out, and just making, you know, just bringing our all right together. And you know, like I said a while ago, I'm so thankful for Melissa, because you know, last year she wasn't really thinking too much about websites, and now she is a whole boss. I mean, if you could see how she was flipping through that the other night, and just moving and doing and adding, and it just blows my mind. It literally blows my mind. And so when you're doing what you're supposed to, and when you can unlock those giftings and talents that God has given you, it flows, it just works, it just happens. And so I'm very thankful that God allowed Melissa and I to connect, and, you know, form a friendship, and just a family ship. I mean, I don't know what else you call it, but it truly is just pushing each other, you know, because what I was telling her the other night was all these things that God's got me doing, which affects her, it's got her doing, it just helps her to learn and grow, and it pushes her so that her another client can maybe benefit from it. And you know, all the things that I'm so particular, you know, about stuff like, no, bigger, do this, do that. I don't like that. But we have such a good friendship and such a relationship where, you know, we work well together. And so, but y'all, there's always a reason why we go through junk. And so whether it's learning, or it's preparing us for something, because y'all, I promise I was praying. God, please help me to be ready for what I'm asking for. I don't want to mess this up, God. Help me to be ready. Help me to be ready and stay ready. And those are just sometimes those things that we have to go through to, you know, because big things are happening, big things are coming. And if you're not prepared, you're not going to be, it's not going to work. You know, Dr. Destiny's on here, and so many of you guys, the big things that God's got us doing is no joke, and you have to be ready, or it's going to crush you. And so even on the days where it feels like it's going to crush you, God's got you. You know, God's got us, and so it's not going to. And so, you know, there's, I think that since we're so individual and unique and intricately made, that sometimes we have to remember that. what works for somebody else may not work for you. But one thing I do know is that God is faithful, and you have to keep pushing, and you have to keep going even when you don't understand what's happening, because He will work all things together for our good according to His will, His purpose for our life. And so, sometimes that's all you can do. That's all you can pray is those things. I don't understand why this is happening, God. This feels big. This feels too big. It feels overwhelming. But it's for a reason. And so, I feel just seen. There's a lot of times in my life I haven't felt seen, but because sometimes there are certain people that have to work harder. They have to be funnier. They have to work harder. They have to be smarter. They have to to advance and to get certain things, and so, or that's how you can feel. But man, there's nothing like being in line with what God has for you to do. And it doesn't mean it's not work, y'all. It's work. It's a lot of work. Like I said, I work all day and then go home and on the computer for several hours in the evenings. But when it's a call, when it's an assignment, when it's a pull, a tug, that's that expansion that I've been talking about. And so that's just part of it. And so I know that big things are happening. And so I hope that you guys feel encouraged, because keep going, and no matter what it is, like I said, it may just, if it feels big to you, it feels big to God. And so it doesn't matter what it is. And so hey, God's got it. And so the things that felt big to me last year are now part of just what I do a lot. It's become part of what I get to do. And so but last year it was big. I posted earlier today, my first book came out 2 years ago, and that process was a lot. I almost gave up. I was so frustrated. I didn't understand. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know who to ask. And so, but I had to keep pushing. I had to keep going, because I knew it was an assignment. I knew that I'd received something so much bigger than I was, that I had to figure it out somehow. And so, having gone through that process, I didn't know that one day, 2 years, from then, that I would be helping people publish their books, and I would be, those experiences that I had would help me help other people to keep them moving and say, we've got this. I can help you. And so I had no idea. I had no idea 2 years ago that I'd be getting to do what I'm doing. I didn't have any idea a year ago that I'd be getting to do what I am doing. And so it's so exciting when you can see stuff happening and see stuff going. And I'm not bragging on me, y'all. I'm bragging on God, because this is all God. If it was me, I would have quit 2 years ago. Hear that. I would have quit 2 years ago, because it felt like too much. It felt like a lot. And so, but God knew what He wanted for me to do. I just had to keep showing up. I had to keep saying yes. I had to keep pushing. I had to keep figuring it out, asking questions, and utilizing the tools that I had, and finding new tools and learning how to use those new tools and all the stuff. And so, so the fact that, like I said, I'm not bragging on me. I'm totally bragging on God, because God, okay, Myrna, I can't say your name right. I'm so sorry. I just need a knot. But anyway, I'm so glad you got to be on here with us today. But anyway, so I hope I shared something that encouraged you today to, keep going, keep pushing. God's got big stuff for you. And no matter how you feel at this moment, just like the storm in the natural, it finally blows over, and the wind stops, and the rain and the hail and all the things, and you can take that deep breath again and say, oh, thank God. And so that, like I said, that's kind of how I felt recently, a few weeks ago, where it just was a lot, and I just had to keep pushing. So anyway, I'm so excited for what God's doing and what's coming, and I can't wait to share the next big thing, and just like I said, everything's just continues to just blow my mind, and I just feel very blessed that all of this is going on. So I know that helping people share their stories, the enemy hates that. He doesn't want you to write your book. He doesn't want you to move forward with that. But so of course he's going to attack people that help. And so but it's all a process. It's all exciting, and so I just feel blessed that so much is happening, and so I hope you're feeling that. I hope you feel that in the spirit, just that excitement, and that the next level of things that are happening and coming, and I hope that you're feeling the anticipation of what's going on, and just the that like a kid at Christmas, something so good is coming. So anyway, y'all be blessed, be encouraged, and keep going, keep pushing, and we're just in such an amazing time where God is just doing so much, and giving God our yes can feel scary, but it's also amazing right after it. So anyway, I love y'all so much, and I hope that y'all have an amazing rest of your week, and I'm praying for you. And I know some of you are going through quite a bit and big things, and but God's got you, and I'm excited to see what's coming from some of these things that you're going through. And so keep going, keep pushing, keep showing up, keep doing what you're supposed to do, keep putting in them hours. God sees all of those things, and so he blesses all those things as well. And so I pray for direction, favor, health, strength, all those things for you guys. And so yes, Angel, love you so much. Praying for you. Anyway, y'all have an amazing rest of your week. I love you so much. I'm praying for you, and I'll see you on the flip side next week on Tuesday. So have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.